From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are following at this hour. The Israelis presented a plan to President Donald Trump to kill Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. After being briefed on the plan, the White House made clear to Israeli officials that Trump was opposed to the Israelis making the move, according to an official who was not authorized to comment on the sensitive matter and spoke on the condition of anonymity. The Trump administration is desperate to keep Israel's military operation aimed at decapitating Iran's nuclear program from exploding into an even more expansive conflict, and saw the plan to kill Khamenei as a move that would inflame the conflict and potentially destabilize the region. On Sunday, Trump issued a stark warning to Iran against retaliating on U.S. targets in the Middle East, while also predicting Israel and Iran would soon make a deal to end their escalating conflict. Trump, in an early morning social media posting, said the United States had nothing to do with the attack on Iran, as Israel and Iran traded missile attacks for the third straight day. Iran, however, has said that it would hold the U.S., which has provided Israel with much of its deep arsenal of weaponry, for its backing of Israel. Israel's targeted Iran's defense ministry, headquarters in Tehran, and sites it alleged were associated with Iran's nuclear program, while Iranian missiles evaded Israeli air defenses and slammed into buildings deep inside Israel. The U.S. president said he has a track record for de-escalating conflicts and that he would get Israel and Iran to cease hostilities, quote, just like I got India and Pakistan to make after the two countries' recent cross-border confrontation. To offer some context, in April, India struck targets inside Pakistan after militants massacred 26 tourists in Indian-controlled Kashmir. Pakistan has denied any links to the attackers. Following India's strikes in Pakistan, the two sides exchanged heavy fire along their de facto borders, followed by missile and drone strikes into each other's territories, mainly targeting military installations and air bases. Donald Trump claimed that India and Pakistan ceased hostilities because of his intervention. Now, given what he has said and done with the war in Ukraine, we were quite skeptical about this claim, and so we did a quick look back, and here's what we found. PBS News reported on May 13th that the Indian government disputed U.S. President Donald Trump's claim that the U.S. mediated ceasefire between India and Pakistan came about in part because he had offered possible trade concessions. Addressing a weekly news conference, Randhir Jaiswal, the spokesman for India's foreign ministry, said top leaders in New Delhi and Washington were in touch last week following the Indian military's intense standoff with Pakistan, but that there was no conversation on trade. The issue of trade didn't come up in any of these discussions, Jaiswal said, referring to the conversations held between U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as well as between U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his Indian counterpart S. Jaishankar. Trump said he had not only helped mediate the ceasefire, but also offered mediation over the simmering dispute in Kashmir, a Himalayan region that both India and Pakistan claim in entirety, but administer in parts. The two nations have fought two wars over Kashmir, which has long been described as the regional nuclear flashpoint. However, New Delhi also declined Trump's offer for mediation. Furthermore, on May 10th, speaking with Geo News, Pakistan's foreign minister said that India and Pakistan had agreed to a, quote, full-fledged and not partial ceasefire, claiming that over 36 countries were involved in the diplomacy, not just the United States. He added that Saudi Arabia and Turkey played a key role in brokering the deal, according to the Associated Press. In other news, Republican Senator Josh Hawley has been clear about his red line as the Senate takes up the GOP's One Big Beautiful Bill Act, no Medicaid cuts. But what exactly would be a cut? Hawley and other Republicans acknowledge that the main cost-saving provision in the bill, new work requirements on able-bodied adults who receive health care through the Medicaid program, would cause millions of people to lose their coverage. All told, estimates are 10.9 million fewer people would have health care coverage under the bill's proposed changes to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. That includes some 8 million fewer in the Medicaid program, including 5.2 million dropping off because of the new eligibility requirements. I know that will reduce the number of people on Medicaid, Hawley told a small scrum of reporters in the hallways at the Capitol. But I'm for that because I want people who are able-bodied but not working to work. Hawley and other Republicans are walking a politically fine line on how to reduce federal spending on Medicaid while also promising to protect a program that serves some 80 million Americans and is popular with the public. And all of this is just a way to provide billionaires massive tax breaks. That is a pretty tight political fine line. And that's the news at this hour. If you are watching our videos on YouTube, please subscribe to the PEP Radio channel. Download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. Up next is the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.